we got a little game to end the episode today. Throw a little spice in there. We do have a couple events going on right now, and just a little bit of general news and some futures props that are relevant to the downtime that we have in the week right now. So I'm gonna hit you with a little bit of game of hot and cold and quick, right on the ball. Your gut instinct. This is what I want to know, whether you know nothing about it or not. So first up, we got the Open this weekend for golf. 99% of the money is the percentage of money bet on anyone besides Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, or Ludwig Aberg to win the Open this week. The field, meaning everybody else, they are minus 310. Any of the three other fellows, if they do come out and win it, it is plus 220. Are you buying or are you selling that the field is the favorite here?
Bro, I don't know shit about golf, but fuck it,
So
let's go with the
do
field. I
do
love
we
the underdogs.
and that's what I'm saying, right? We got three of the best against nobody else really recognized. Does it feel like a time for a beat or a setup? I don't think so. I think this is an absolute. I'm going to sell. I think this is an absolute steal for plus 220 underdog odds because you have the option of three guys to win it to come away with a 3-1 payout there. Um, NFL, quick pivot, much more exciting pivot from golf. Brandon Aiyuk, he has requested a trade out of his contract dispute with the 49ers. Now, he did not even finish in the top 10 in the league with catches to finish last year. Do we buy that he's a number one wide receiver for a team out there that, and if so, is there a team out there that even really needs a number one wide receiver asking for his payday? Is this more or less, is this good or bad
I am
for the Niners?
I am very happy you brought that up. You ready for a fucking synchronicity? You ready for this, boys? I was talking to my friend today because I told him the Patriots should go out and get Aiyuk, right? So that they can have that bona fide number one receiver for a young quarterback. And he told me Aiyuk is a freak. Last year, he was in the top percentile in the NFL against man, zone, and press. Being top three in all three categories is almost unheard of, and he was it. So shout out to my friend Jared from high school, one of my ride or dies, unknowingly just set me up perfectly for that segment.
So the only thing I would have to add there, and I'm sure many other people will, the only side of the argument there is again with Christian McCaffrey, unstoppable in the backfield, and then you also have Debo Samuel on the opposite side of the line there. Uh, they definitely took away a lot of attention and gave him the ability to be much more productive. Me personally, this is a sell. I feel like any team that really bites at giving this guy like any type of max for number one position, I think is a little bit outside their position. This guy is no Devontae Adams, in my opinion. But with that being said, Devontae Adams yesterday, rumors started swirling around that it's very possible a reuniting of him and Rodgers is very possible this offseason. However, his agent and a direct quote from himself emerged earlier today, shutting down those rumors. Quote Adams here: "I'm actively on the Raiders. What do I look like sitting here talking to other people about being on another team? That's still how I feel about it right now. I'm locked in with the Raiders, and I feel really good about this team. And as far as I know, they feel good about me. Me personally, I'll tell you my feelings on it real quick. I'm selling. I am selling. I don't believe that he actually believes in this locker room. I think he's waiting on an opportunity, and it's if anybody could give the Raiders the value that they would be taking on. And Adams, even though I believe he's not owed very much going into this year, so would be interesting to see how that pans out. What's your take on it?
I'm going to sell on that take as well. I think he wants out of there. I think he wants to be back with his boy Rodgers. He's had years of subpar QB play. He wants to contend. He wants that ring, right? Bright lights of Las Vegas are fun, but everybody wants the ring. Everybody wants the next championship.
And again, right, just the overall quarterback situation. Although I do love Antonio Pierce stepping in as coach, I'm really happy that they secured him and that he'll be coming back. He won't be just the interim and how he turned that team around the second half of the season last year. They do look exciting, but right, I don't think the environment quite fits Adams in this scenario. One last thing on the NFL end. Caleb Williams still is not signed his rookie deal. They're still haggling over contract language. I'll just put it to you like this: Caleb Williams, 8 wins, buy or sell.
I think he actually may have signed it today.
Oh, he
Yeah, he
did
signed his
sign
rookie
it.
yeah, he signed it 2 hours ago.
All right, so even irrelevant to the adjustment on the question, buy or sell. Does he even live up to a little bit of the hype? Does he win 8 games this year? What do you think?
100%. I will
You
say, though, those could be 2 separate, entities. He may not be able to live up to the hype just yet, but I think that Bears roster is drastically improved. The defense was quietly very good at the end of last year, right? They were able to fix that. They only finished about a game or 2 games out of the playoffs. They've added on offense. They've added everywhere else. Caleb Williams, while he may not be fully living up to the hype just yet, the jury's still out on that. I do think he's going to be more accurate than Fields. He's gonna have that better downfield threat, especially over the middle as well. I'm buying. I think the Bears can 100% make some noise. I think that's gonna be a drastically improved roster. I don't think they're there quite yet. I still have the Lions, coming out of that division, but the Bears could easily be wild card 1.
Not a bad take. It'll be interesting to see. Really tough division, again, a really hurting franchise for quite some time. And they haven't had a great quarterback really ever. I believe they still hold the category as the only team without a quarterback ever to throw over 3,000 yards for them. I want to say I'm correct in that number. I believe it's a 3,000-yard passing season. The Bears have yet to have a quarterback in their history throw for at least that amount. Will be interesting to see. I love a good underdog story. Me personally, I'm selling here. We talk about it every year. These hopeful rookie quarterbacks, they never pan out the way they are supposed to early on. I think it's going to be a very rough year for Caleb. Quick pivot back to MLB, really quick to wrap it up. We got Yankees and Orioles. Still the top two to reach, not to win, to reach the ALCS. Are we buying the hype of just the AL East right now? Do we think the Yankees or the Orioles, one of those two, do we think either of them make the ALCS, or do we think somebody else creeps up from behind?
I'm gonna buy the hype on that one because I only need one of the 2 to make it. I do think we see one of those in the ALCS, but I do think we see a complete dark horse come out to challenge them, right? I think we're gonna have Yankees-Dodgers. And also, we're gonna have Yankees Dodgers versus like a smaller market team, like the Guardians, like a well, I was gonna say Red Sox, but they're not a small market team. They spend like it, but they're not a small market team. I think they could make a run. In the NL, you have all those teams in the mid tier ready to break through. So I think we see the big boys, but we also see like a D-back situation as well.
I hear you there. For some reason, for me, I don't know what it's been. It's been pretty much throughout the whole season so far. There's just a weird, lingering feeling to me about the Guardians, and they are third on this list at plus 220 currently. The only other team that's really sent just a surprising shockwave to me is the Astros. Just how slow they started and how they've ramped it up, and they're right behind the Mariners right now. So be very interesting to see there. And again, we know once the Astros get going in the postseason how they can be. So very interesting. NLCS, very interesting here. The Dodgers are the favorite to reach at minus 190. The
Yep.
Phillies, despite how amazing they have played consistently throughout injuries, throughout a questionable bullpen at times, uh, with not the greatest starting five. Again, and the whole talk of that they are just the bully of the worst team. They have the best record in baseball right now against over 500 teams. So hard to argue how the Dodgers are the favorite right now, especially with Glass now, I believe, still on the injured reserve list, and crapping on my Cy Young award for the National League. We'll touch on that in a second. But to reach NLCS, we have Dodgers minus 190, Phillies minus 130, buying or selling that either of these teams get. Are we buying that either of these teams get there, or are we selling? And do we think somebody else emerges second half of the season?
So just to clarify, if a Dodgers plus 190 or minus 190?
Oh, I'm sorry if I misspoke there. It's Dodgers minus 190 and then Phillies minus 130.
I'm still on the Dodgers there. That's a fucking wild market if they're minus 190 to make the NLCS. Holy shit. But yeah, I think it's Dodgers 100%. That's my World Series pick.
Wow. It'll be really interesting. I mean, honestly, I agree with you there. The only doubt I really have is in the bullpen right now, and just Glasnow's status being questionable. He is a major key in that rotation there, and I'm not sure what the return table looks like for Mookie Betts and his hand. But again, if they could overcome the injuries, I agree with you here. I see no reason why they should be able to reach. But if the Phillies gain some momentum in this bullpen, it'd be really interesting to see second half of the year. We got two things left here. One, since we just wrapped up the home runs and the home run derby. All right, we got regular season home run leader with Aaron Judge minus 350, and the two people behind him that stand the best chance, Otani is plus 700, and we got Gunnar Henderson at plus 1200. Now, Judge has 34, Otani has 29, and Henderson has 28. So there's not a massive gap to close here. The Yankees have been on a downswing. The Orioles have kind of just been hanging in there themselves. Um, and again, you got the Dodgers and Otani, who looked great during the home run derby, crushed a nice little 3-run homer. Are we buying that Judge is the home run leader at the end of the regular season?
No, I'm selling. I'd go with Otani, especially at those odds.
Hey, that and you got some incredible value there. Again, right now he's listed at plus 700. Uh, Last but not least, our boy Paul Skeens. I just want to say, if I have a large regret in my betting life, it was looking at the plus 20,000 with everything I already knew about this kid. Once he made his first start, he appeared on the to win Cy Young at plus 20,000, and he is currently at plus 500, which is unreal.
That is wild.
Absolutely unreal. No rookie has ever won the Cy Young. Ahead of him, Zach Wheeler, who isn't having a sensational year, a good year, but he's plus 165. And Chris Sale has actually jumped the list out of everybody. He was as low as plus 1,600 on this list just a couple of weeks ago. He's plus 125. He's favored right now. I don't have a dog in this because I still have Tyler Glass now hanging on by a thread at plus 2,800, and I picked him up at plus 700. However, Paul Skeens, he's currently got 89 strikeouts. He is minus 225 to pick up 150 plus. Are we buying or selling that he hits that marker?
Buying 100%, yeah.
Right
100%. I think this kid's got it. He's dealing. He's gonna hit that.
Right behind that, you have 175 strikeouts at plus 140. Big discrepancy there of 25 strikeouts with a 300-point swing. I'm with you there, though. I think he gets the plus 150. If this guy's just been warming up in the first half, has a nice little break, the Pirates could just get themselves together defensively overall and find some consistency. You get this kid pitching behind an offense that could get rolling, it'll be interesting, and the strikeouts seem aplenty with this kid.
100%, and if they're not as good defensively, that may actually help you out. Because if they're making errors and more guys reach base, then that's more at bats, so he has opportunities to throw strikeouts.
Valid
Right,
point,
just throwing
valid
that out
point.
there, yeah.
But that's all I got for you. That's pretty much all that we have.
You got me feeling lucky. I'm putting everything on black.